It's hard to believe for many of us, but 2025 marks the 10-year anniversary of CD Projekt Red's seminal RPG, The Witcher 3. While there's been plenty of open-world RPGs since that have provided excellent experiences to be sure, there's still a special quality inherent in The Witcher 3 that continues to delight players today. Every facet of the game just works so brilliantly together, forming a cohesive RPG experience that cannot be replicated. Let's explore what made The Witcher 3 so enthralling with this in-depth retrospective.
Long as I'm here, you'll gut no one.
That a challenge?
Why not? I've not fought a Witcher before. Defeat me and I shall let him go. Stand aside.
Before The Witcher 3, side quests in RPGs often existed as throwaway busywork to provide leveling experience and a small smattering of flavor lore to the game world. The Witcher 3 turned the concept of a side quest on its head by giving them the same level of importance and quality as the main storyline. Side quests in The Witcher 3 span the gamut of in-depth character arcs, geopolitical upheavals, tying up loose ends to Geralt's past, and the smaller moments that are no less lovingly crafted. And then there's the stuff that is just so quintessentially Witcher, like the Morkvang Werewolf Curse quest, which of course gives the player a choice to make affecting the outcome of Morkvang and the inhabitants of the village. Some of the best portrayed scenes that I've seen in a game take place within The Witcher 3 side quests. The best part is the player has a legitimate say in which quest they want to see come to fruition. The interactions between these characters feel effortlessly natural, something very rare in an RPG, and the payoff is surprisingly wholesome and satisfying. Continuity between the novels and lore is also something that is done very well throughout The Witcher 3 side quests. There's even a quest, The Last Wish, which echoes the subject matter and title of one of the most beloved Witcher novels.
Live.
Well, philosophers do still debate what it means to be alive, exactly.
I admit to being a total Witcher newcomer when I first played The Witcher 3 back in 2019 or so, and yet all of that prior history and lore felt absolutely riveting and atmospheric to me when I happened to stumble upon it. I felt like a fish out of water to some extent, flooded to the gills with prior happenings and reignited friendships that I knew nothing about. Yet the world building and natural exposition of it all made me feel like I was exploring a real fantasy world that had a history and life of its own regardless of my participation. Towns and cities have long been a benchmark of world building in RPGs. I personally hold Final Fantasy IX's Lindblum as one of the best examples of a lived-in fantasy city that manages to further immerse us into the game's world. It would take an entire book to chronicle the history of well-realized video game towns, so instead let's hone in on one of the best, Novigrad. I'd be remiss not to mention how perfect CD Projekt Red portrayed Novigrad's density. Sure, the total surface area of Novigrad isn't as groundbreaking as any town in, say, Daggerfall or, well, any of the cities featured in the recent Assassin's Creed games, but size isn't to be the end-all be-all of quality. No, as we've seen with plenty of other open world games, a map can be as big as an ocean yet feel as deep and interesting as a puddle. Density and what is done with said density is what really makes a space come alive. Novigrad feels like an authentic medieval city due to the level of sheer detail and attention to variety around every single street corner. Like CD Projekt Red's other impressive cityscape, Night City, Novigrad doesn't feel like it has copy and pasted elements. There's an undeniably organic layout to its alleyways and tight corridors. Yes, some buildings are identical to others in their dimensions, but the decorations and embellishments help individualize them, instilling a humanness to the place. The set design of Novigrad makes one feel lost in a gritty medieval landscape. Novigrad and the other smaller towns in The Witcher 3, to a lesser extent, feels lived in and alive. Of course, people contribute to that sensation of liveliness to a significant extent. Novigrad doesn't disappoint in this respect, with pedestrians going about their business and filling out the busy cobblestone streets in a believable way. Yes, the sheer amount of NPCs populating an area helps sell the sense of liveliness, but it's really the variety of character models, clothing, animations, and even voices that really make The Witcher 3's towns feel believable. NPC faces and voices within The Witcher 3's towns don't repeat often, helping to avoid the uncanny valley sensation that many open world games suffer from. Yes, I'm looking at you, Oblivion. NPCs will often talk about an ailment plaguing them or rant about the state of the world, and nothing feels more like The Witcher than a bitter pedestrian hollering at Geralt to leave them in peace and cause trouble elsewhere.
Where's Hendrik?
You deaf? Understand what I'm saying? Baron won't let this stand!
Calm down. Your Baron's no idiot. Seriously doubt he'll think you locals cut his men down with farming implements. Now where's Hendrik?
Man lives in Heatherton,
Don't know where that is.
other side of the hill.
The Witcher 3 set a standard for open world games with its believable NPC behavior and attention to detail for the voice and outfits of minor incidental characters. And Novigrad is the creme de la creme of The Witcher 3's lived-in realism that still captures players' imaginations to this very day. The core combat doesn't hold up quite as well as The Witcher 3's rich story axis, but the emphasis on monster weaknesses and alchemy does have its charms, to be sure. When played on harder difficulties, it is required to look through the bestiary for specific monster vulnerabilities and ways to approach certain fights. In this way, The Witcher 3 successfully translates the essence of a Witcher's vocation into its beast hunting gameplay. Applying the right poisons and potion mixes is vital before fights on harder difficulties, contrasting the more arcadey combat feel of easier difficulties. I admit I'm not exactly ecstatic about The Witcher 3's swordplay. The lack of combo and weapon variety isn't just comparable, it's just not the same as other RPGs. However, the skill tree and strategic weakness-based gameplay is satisfying in its own unique, purely Witcher way.
Welcome, child of the Elder Blood. We knew you would return. Your taste lingers on our tongues.
You've talked enough.
My preferred playstyle is a sign-focused build. The mind-manipulating Axii sign is a treat to experiment and have fun with. Whenever I got sick of swinging my silver sword and dodging attacks, turning an Al-Ghul to fight on my side never got any less interesting and entertaining. Supplementing the combat is all the potions and weaponry Geralt can have crafted. I love when a rich open world game renders looting worthwhile, and in this The Witcher 3 succeeds with aplomb. There's a ton of stuff to loot, between the many monster corpses you find to junk sitting at the bottom of alleyway barrels. The many armors and bombs that can be made from these materials makes exploring that much more fun here. The Witcher 3, while not having the most remarkable armor selection, does feature some really cool looking armors for Geralt to don, such as the intricate Kaer Morn set. The Witcher 3 is not a perfect game without faults, but it executes what it sets out to do amazingly well, and remains unparalleled today. The world building is top notch thanks to the bevy of voice talent animating the well realized characters, and the fantastic environmental design. Making each quest meaningful and unique renders every new discovery and character interaction something the player can eagerly look forward to. The Witcher 3 is a masterclass in world design and quest quality, something that requires that unique human touch around every corner to make it truly feel alive. We won't get another experience like The Witcher 3 with the intriguing NPCs and quests. In today's AI-accelerated world, The Witcher 3 shines as an example of what detail-oriented craft can produce, and 10 years later, it's still one of the very best of its kind.
Save your generosity for those whose homes your armies have razed. I'll do it for Ciri. Not for your gold.
Your motives do not interest me. Only results. Yennefer will tell you the rest. This audience is finished. Mererid!
So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.